Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, Center for Practical Spirituality. We're talking about heels. And so we were saying that, well, why don't you use heels on a daily basis? And so then the person was saying that, well, over here, which was over on the west side, she said, well, you can't wear heels. You have to be, in flat foot, or you have to wear, something so that you can either run or you can, dar fregazos anyway, chingazos, like we were saying. Anyway, do not look that up, okay? Don't look that up. Anyway, back at the ranch. Oh my goodness, we were talking about so many different things before we actually started. Welcome to Center for Practical Spirituality, where we get you, going and started and just really full of life for the rest of the week. Let's go ahead and begin with our statement of being. And our statement of being today is, as usual and as always, God is all, both visible and invisible. One presence, one mind, one power is all. This one that is all is perfect life, perfect love, and perfect substance. I am ever one with this perfect life, perfect love, and perfect substance. And so it is. And so it is. Today, we're going to be talking about love awakens and transforms. And so whenever we're thinking about love, I was, every Wednesday, well, it was on Wednesday nights. Now it's on Thursday nights. But for about a year and a half now, I have actually been doing a chapel at the movies where I work. And so we watch a movie, and the movie is going to be kind of not so much Christian based, but spiritually based. And so one movie in particular was based on love, and how love actually transforms, the heart, the mind, the body, and the soul. So today's topic is about love awakens and transforms. The real power of love is to transform us. Bell hooks. Love points the way, and law makes the way possible. Let me say that again and loud. Love points the way, and law makes the way possible. What do I mean by the law makes the way possible? The law is going to be the natural laws that we have in this world, okay? The natural law of order, the natural law of love, the natural law of organization, the natural law of chemicalization, the natural law of abundance, the natural law, all of these natural laws that we as human beings, we cannot stop. What you give out is what you're going to get back. That is a natural law. So that's why they always, when our parents talk to us in different circles, we say, it's kind of like, please remember, what you're dishing out is what you're going to get back. And what you think about, you bring about. The other thing is that which persists, that which you resist will persist. And we have to learn that we as human beings, we are the co-creators of all that we have in front of us. I want for us to remember that. And the reason is because of the fact that there are natural laws that we are corresponding to, even if we're not thinking about it. And it is the most perplexing thing to see when, for instance, I know there's some people out here, they'll be kidding around and saying, oh, it's kind of like more than likely because of, what I have and da-da-da-da-da. It's like my feet are, my feet are going to be chopped off, because I have diabetes, And I want for you to take into consideration, I'm sitting there and this is my face. And I think I need deliverance from my face. Okay. Really, I really do. My face says it all. And so they're looking at me, what, Katrina? Why are you having such a hard time with that? And I'm going to tell you, I mean, I just look at them and I'm like, okay, well, if that's your truth, okay. What am I thinking? I'm thinking to myself, no, do not be saying that. Because the more you say that, the more you're inviting for the universe to conspire to make that happen. I mean, no. We have all of our extremities. We are healthy. We are whole. We're complete. You know, we're taking right action. You know, wisdom goes before me and makes things right. I choose the right foods, the right drinks, the right things to eat and to, you know, be a part of. I'm surrounded by wonderful and absolutely uplifting people, you know, who only bring out the very best in me. My feet, you know, my ankles, my knees, my hips, my, you know, shoulders, my whole entire body is full of perfect divine health right here, right now, uplifted, you know, pressed over, runneth over in the name of love. So whenever somebody is kind of kidding around, this is something that we all have to remember. The subconscious mind does not know when you're kidding around. It takes the orders. So, with that being said, love awakens and transforms. Love awakens and transforms. Our bodies, our ankles, our feet, our toes, our hands, our whole entire body. It is healthy, whole, and complete of heart, mind, body, and soul. If you continue to focus on what you don't want, you're going to get more of that. Love is a sacred alchemy that calls our spirit to awaken and expand. It is a living presence that stirs the depths of our being, inviting us to greater awareness and unconditional grace. True transformation, like spiritual love, does not occur overnight. It unfolds like playful journey, a gradual release of the old self and an opening towards our highest, most luminous nature. Transformation. You know, we're dying on a daily basis, and I know many of you don't like hearing that, but we are changing. And when you change, you transform. When you transform, you die to the old so that you can embrace the new, by the way. And of course, it can go deeper than that, but I'm not going to take you down that rabbit hole. Okay?
The stones change.
Say that again?
Even the stones change.
Exactly. Even the stones change. The erosion happens. You know, water goes through them. You know, the heat, you know, it's kind of like it actually takes, you know, beats them in so many ways. Our plants, for example, I have a lantana that I actually got. You know, I was trying to remember, where did I find that lantana? But if I'm not mistaken, the lantana that I found whenever I put it where I have it at right now, I found it out there, you know, in the back roads. I think it was more in Bigfoot, Texas, something like that. And so what I did was I wrapped it up. I dug it out because it was pretty, but it was small. So I dug it out, and then I brought it home and I planted it. Well, you should see that thing. This was years ago. This lantana was itty bitty. It was wild. You know, you should see it with all the rain and everything. Well, it transformed. I mean, it is huge. It's beautiful. And I'm actually going to have to cut it back, you know, but when things, you know, start to transform, they transform because they feel loved. They feel, you know, and if a child doesn't feel that love, that care, that you're nurturing, they start depleting, as well as a human. And so, you know, what we want to remember is that, you know, like Mary Jane said, even a stone or a rock will transform. Well, we see our plants, our trees transform on a daily basis. We see trees that continue to grow and grow and grow and grow. And then we got to cut them back, and then they grow and grow and grow and grow. We also can either grow or be depleted, depending on what happens, okay? So here, transformation through love begins within the sanctuary of your own heart, where spirit whispers truth and dissolves but no longer harmonizes with our sacred essence. As we soften resistance, what did I say? That which you resist will persist, okay? But as we soften resistance and expand our awareness, life begins to shift in a subtle yet profound ways. Our thoughts become lighter, our heart more attuned to peace, and our joy more enduring. Love is the soil in which the soul's awakening grows. So the soul, for it to grow and expand and to go into its higher understanding, consciousness, and awareness, it is to have the soil, which is going to be love. Remember that. And every moment of surrender reveals deeper clarity and compassion. Today is an invitation. We invite you to take time to release what no longer serves your soul, such as an old pattern, fear-based thoughts, self-criticism, and limiting beliefs. Invite love to permeate every cell of your being, dissolving barriers with acceptance, grace, and compassion. With each breath, deepening your sense of connection to the divine and to life's creative flow. See, today what we're doing is we're expanding. We're going forward. We're doing more than what we anticipated at one time. Let transformation be gentle emergence, guided by love's wisdom rather than by force or striving. Remember, love is not asking us to become someone new. No. Love reveals who we already are, beloved, whole, and connected to the infinite. In every change, see spirit at work within, shaping every step towards coherence, peace, and life-affirming purposes. Love transforms. Love transforms each of us. Love transforms me. Each moment, I align more deeply with spirit and step into my divine destiny. And so it is. You know, many times, let me see something. Hold on. One of the things that I have come to understand is that when love presents itself, many times it's going to be in a lesson. And that lesson is going to be for us to recognize that it's time to let go of old patterns, of, old ways of doing things, and to actually go forward and to say, it's time for me to expand my consciousness and my awareness. And so love awakens and transforms when you allow love to be the soil. And when you allow love to be that soil, then what ends up occurring is that your soul takes root and expands its consciousness and its awareness. And then all of a sudden, you're that beacon of love for everyone to be able to experience, feel, know, and see. Okay? Let me see here. Who gave himself a ransom for all, to be testified in due time. 1 Timothy 2:6. I, if I be lifted up, will draw all men unto me. That's John 12:32. We, each of us, Jesus, the man named Jesus, who was a Christ consciousness in many sense, and came to us so that we could learn how to live this life on this earth in a better way. So one thing that we can do is whenever we look in the mirror, we acknowledge the love that we are. We acknowledge the transformative, energy that we possess and that we have and that we can share with others so that we can be a guiding light for one and all. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being here with us at Center for Practical Spirituality. And I look forward to seeing you here next Sunday. And just know that I'm going to continue to uplift your heart's desires and to keep you uplifted and upheld and just sending you lots of love. And at this time, I'd like for us to hold our tithes and our offerings and our love requests and anything that we're wanting for us to pray for. Go ahead and put it you can go ahead and send us your prayer requests into the comments or into this thread. And then what we'll do is we'll be uplifting that request and know that it is taken care of. Let us hold our tithes and our offerings in our hands and let us say together, divine love in me, as me, and through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And so it is. And so it is. I'm ready for a miracle. I'm ready for a miracle. I'm ready for a miracle today. I've got my mind in tune for one. I'm ready to experience one. I'm ready for a miracle today. My mind is open, ready to receive it. My heart is opened all the way. I do accept a miracle. I do accept a miracle. I do accept a miracle today. I do receive a miracle. I do receive a miracle. I do receive a miracle today. Very good, very good. Yay! Love you guys. See you next week.